I wanted to share with you today 5 exercises that you can start to practice if you are finding yourself sitting a lot during the day. Maybe you sit behind a desk all day. Maybe you are stuck sitting and driving. These 5 exercises are going to help with those common postural problems that occur when you have been sitting for an extended period of time. The first exercise I want you to practice is a stretch that you are going to do, and it has to do with your wrists. So we tend to be working on our computer and our wrists tend to be in this position. So we need to work in the opposite position by creating force. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend like we are pressing 2 walls away from us, trying to keep those fingertips up towards the ceiling. You may notice a rise in your shoulders. I need you to think about lifting them higher and then relaxing them. And that should let them naturally drop rather than you trying to pull them down. Press, press, press. You are going to feel this sensation. You might end up having to move your fingertips, but this is a sensation. These are your nerves stretching. So that is the first stretch. The second exercise or stretch that you are going to be working on has to do with rounded shoulders. So when we are behind our computer or sitting for extended periods of time, maybe you're driving or something, you tend to round your shoulders forward. So from here, we want to work on opening that chest up. So we're going to bring our arms up over our head, bring them out to the side, thumbs are up. This just kind of helps to get you out of internal rotation. Then bring your hands to your ears. So I'm not placing them behind my head because I don't want to be jerking my head forward. I'm placing my fingers behind my ears and I'm just going to slowly rotate to one side and then slowly rotate to the other. Listen to your body as you do these rotations. We are going slow and we are not trying to pull too hard, okay? Very natural movement. And then also work on breathing through this so that you are expanding your rib cage, getting more movement through that torso. That is stretch number 2. The third exercise or stretch I want you to practice has to do with this forward head or text or tech neck, different ways that people speak about this position that we find ourselves in as, again, we're working on a computer, staring down at our phones, anything like that. So what we want to do is when we are thinking about being in alignment, your head with your ear. So if you take your hand or finger, go around your earlobe, come back in towards the center, you'll feel this nodule there. That nodule should line up with your shoulder. But most of us tend to kind of sit forward here and it's way out in front at our chest rather than our shoulder. So we need to work on bring that back into neutral. But a lot of us, when we try to do this, if I say sit up straight, a lot of people tend to open up, which opens up the rib cage. So what we need to do is we need to work on head ramping. You may have heard of it. You're tucking your chin and you're thinking about pulling your head back like you're trying to bring the back of your head to like a car seat. That's what I think. When you're in your car and you're trying to go to the headrest, right? So all you're going to do is tuck your chin just slightly. We don't want to go down too far because that's going to create a different type of movement. So we're going to tuck just slightly. I like to personally pretend like someone is pulling a string up from my spine through the crown of my neck, and then I'm holding my core tight, okay? So you may notice that and you may actually feel your core working here, which is also going to lead me into exercise 4. This is going to be same type of thing. Now we're moving into the torso, our ribs and our pelvis. So when we tend to be sitting in this position, what happens to our ribs? if you pay attention to what your ribs are doing, they're kind of closed in and they're gripping down. When we tend to grip down, we're creating a lot of pressure down in this region, which creates a belly pooch. If you've ever seen, or if you have yourself, this pooch down here, that's due to pressure that's occurring from a lot of rib gripping. So we've got to work on lengthening through that area. So I take this is kind of my guide. I take my hands, my thumbs, and I place them on my rib cage, and I try to reach my middle fingers down to my hip bones, and I'm just going to work on lengthening through there. Again, pretending someone's pulling a string up. And then I'm not opening my rib cage. I'm shifting my rib cage forward just a little bit, okay? And that, you should notice when you're in that position, how active your core is, right? Do you feel that difference? Hopefully you do. That is exercise 4. The last exercise has to do with your pelvis, and it's more of an exercise than a stretch. And this is just working through positions within your pelvis. Now, when I tend to work with clients with this, they tend to not only move their pelvis, but they're then moving their rib cage as well. I want you to try to focus on just moving your pelvis through positions. So we're going to work on tucking tailbone under and then extending up. So sticking the belly maybe out, the lower belly out, and then tucking it under. A great way to practice this, especially if you're sitting for extended periods of time, is those Pilates balls, the big core balls that you can sit on, because you can do this sort of position while you are sitting on the ball. You can even do little side to side movements. And this is going to help keep that pelvis not getting stuck into one position or another, which can create a lot of tension on that low back. So those are the 5 exercises that I usually would recommend for you to start working through. They can be done easily at your desk, and they would be something that you can practice throughout the day. There are many other exercises you can do, but this is just starting off for you. The key to sitting at a desk for extended periods of time is to create movement. I don't want you to think I've got to sit up tall all day long. No, the goal is to move your body through different positions throughout the day. So it's okay to sit maybe with one leg up, with one other leg to the side, knee out to the side. If you do this, do not get stuck in the same leg all the time. You got to change it up to help for alignment, right? Because if I'm always doing this, that's going to change my hip position. I've got to get the other side in as well. So think about things more rather than black or white. Look at things and how can we create more movement throughout the day when we're sitting at our desk. Yes, you can stand at your desk. Yes, if you can, take that desk or that, if you have like a laptop, and move all the way down to the floor and work a little bit on the floor, which is going to create a completely different experience for your hips. Try to create different movements throughout the day. Also, if you would like, head down into the comment section and you will find information. I have a free guide in there with providing you more tips and information, exercises and stretches that you can put into your day. And you can also join me on my podcast, 5 Minute Mornings. A direct link will be down below, where you will be able to receive weekly movement snacks that will provide you with exercises similar to this to help keeping you moving throughout the week.